Hello, my fellow gamers! Welcome back to Comfortable Gaming. We're talking best story games on Xbox Game Pass that will keep you intrigued and like a great movie and on. And starting off with the list, we've got Mass Effect Legendary Edition. And this has probably got one of the best stories on the list, maybe my favorite on the list to start off this list with. I absolutely love the Mass Effect games. What a great RPG, and what an amazing story throughout these three games as they tie into one another. If you want a really long game, expansive with a really good campaign, story, character development of your own character, your companions, everything ties in, your decisions and stuff. Everybody's journey is a little differently in the way they play. This is one of the best games you can play on Game Pass, and I highly recommend it. And if you're looking for a really good story, you really can't go wrong with these three games. They're absolutely amazing and forever will be one of the greatest RPGs of all time. Next one, we got Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. This one I really enjoyed when it came to Game Pass. I was gonna purchase it, but it came to Game Pass and I really enjoyed this. What they've done with this game really captures what Guardians of the Galaxy are. Their goofiness, their craziness, saving the universe type of thing, crazy music around. All the characters are portrayed really well and the story is really good in this one. It feels like I'm watching a new Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and I really enjoyed every minute of this game, and I think the story is the strongest suit in this entire game. The gameplay is pretty repetitive, but the story really shines out to me in this one, and there's no ways I could have not put it on this list. And if you haven't played it, play it right now. Next one we got Life is Strange True Colors, and if you just want a game that's really just focused on story more than gameplay and other things, this one really offers an enchanting story, really well written to its dialogue, to its characters. This is more obviously a step down than your classical type of gaming game. There's no crazy shooting, explosions, things like that. It's a very simple down game, and it's a great indie game on Game Pass, and has one of the best stories I've played in a long time. Next one, we got an Xbox exclusive to launch day one on Game Pass as Dusk Falls. And this game, again, same as the previous one, it's a small indie game, and this came day one in September to Game Pass, and it's just a really great game that people play. Everything is about what decisions you make, so if you play like similar Telltale games and stuff like that, it's all about the story, what decisions, what outcomes, about its characters. Really done well game, and really great story. It Takes Two is next on the list. This is the best co-op game you can play on Game Pass, and oh boy, it has a really compelling story to play with. The story takes place of you and a wife trying to go through a divorce and stuff, and then they're miniaturized and they become these small characters that then they have to survive and go through all of this. It's a really well done game to its amazing co-op mechanics and gameplay, and to a really beautiful story that I think is one of the best stories in games I've played, and just so well written in a long time. And obviously this won Game of the Year 2 years ago, and with good reason. So do check It Takes Two out. Next up we got Mortal Kombat 11, and people say, how's a fighting game gonna be on the list as best story games on Game Pass? I could have added Injustice 2 as well, just a quick disclaimer, but Mortal Kombat 11 story is one of the best stories in fighting games, and I just loved every minute of the story. It might not be like the previous games, but like for a fighting game to have such a good story, if you love Mortal Kombat, you love these characters, Mortal Kombat 11 really amps up the story as well as X-Dead. Really good one to try out and play on Game Pass. Next up we got Wolfenstein New Order, and if you're in the mood of killing Nazis, crazy gameplay, BJ Blazkowicz is there for you. Wolfenstein franchise has been around for a while, and these games offer such a great story. I mean, first time I ever played Wolfenstein New Order, it's like, what happens if the Nazis won and stuff. The story is so well done, the gameplay is so satisfying, the characters amazingly done, the villains really grow to hate them and want to take them out. It's really done well, with a really great campaign, great story to check out on Game Pass, guys. Wolfenstein is really great. And dropping it onto Deathloop, this takes you as an assassin that's stuck in a time loop. It's pretty much Dishonored in its own way, with its own different type of world, but very similar to that if you haven't played it. The story was really interesting to me here. Maybe arguably some people didn't like the story. The gameplay is amazing, but I just like how everything ties in, and the whole character I love Deathloop. It's a brand new, freshest new game on Game Pass. If you still haven't played it, haven't checked it out yet, I do highly recommend it. It's a really, really great game. And we waited for quite a while for this to finally leave its exclusivity and come to Game Pass. Do check out Deathloop, really good. Next up, we got Halo Master Chief Collection. And if you want to experience what Xbox was about back in the day and you don't mind playing a few classics, the Halo story was always very fascinating to me and interesting. And the story of Master Chief and this entire collection of all its Halo games in one. It's just a great bundle of games. There's so much story to explore here and to understand Halo. If you want a really good war campaign type of game, and just to understand what Halo is and how Xbox came about, you will understand if you play the campaign of this game. Really great story. Check it out. Next one, we got Memoir Blue. This is a very small indie game that surprised me when it launched on Game Pass when it came out. It's such an interesting and compelling little story as you explore this underworld. There's no really talking, everything is just explained to you as you move, and the story is so captivating and endearing to me. Something I thought I would never play, and I did tried it out, and I generally enjoyed it. It's not a very lengthy game, it can be played quickly, but just try it out for the story. It's really cool. Next up, we got Track to Yomi. And maybe some people say the story. For me, I really enjoyed the story of like a samurai in this 2D type of 3D style fighting game. Set as you play as rogue samurai and you go in. The story was really done well, and the combat for me was very interesting. It's quite a unique, smaller little game that just really surprised me, and I just loved every minute of this one. Next up, we got a game that's coming on the 18th of October, Plague Tale Requiem, and it's a sequel to Plague Tale Innocence. If you haven't played Plague Tale Innocence, it's a story takes during like a plague time. You play this character and everything is really, the word's really grotesque, dark. It's a very, very serious story and just really done well. It's like playing a movie. If I could compare it to Last of Us, of how good of a story it is. If you played Last of Us, you know those type of games. So it will really keep you intrigued. Next up, we got Dragon Age Origins, and I was gonna play Dragon Age Inquisition or Dragon Age 2, but I went with Origins because I feel like the first one had the best story, if you ask me, and how everything went on. It's a great classic RPG. If you never played it and you want to try Dragon Age, I suggest playing Inquisition as well, but do start with the first one if you don't mind a little bit dated graphics. It's a really, really great RPG. To this day, a really great classic and one of the best stories I've played in games, as BioWare used to make really, really great games, and I want to see more from them in the future, hopefully. But yeah, Dragon Age Origins, you can't go wrong with this amazing story. Next up, we got Walking Dead Telltale Games Season 1 and Season 2. This is on PC Game Pass only for now, I think. And what a great game this is. So everything is very interactive. You click and choose decisions, and every decision impacts each moment in the game. This I really enjoyed when it came out. I remember playing it, and it's a really, really well done game to the story. Everything impacts on what you do and stuff. And it's an amazing Walking Dead story to check out. Great game to play. And last one on the list, there's no ways I could not put Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And to have such a great Star Wars adventure game, finally, a single player Star Wars game we've been looking for. This game was so popular that the sequel is on its way, and a great Star Wars story. Do check out Jedi Fallen Order. It's just a great team between episode 3 and 4 during what the Jedi are doing after Order 66, and you play Cal Kestis trying to survive Order 66 still.